Bonjour à tous et bienvenue dans la pause musicale de IOTV. Aujourd'hui, j'ai le plaisir d'être avec DJ OUTKAST.
It's DJ OUTKAST, the co-creator. DJ OUTKAST.
Hello DJ OUTKAST.
How are you, my dear?
I'm fine. Thank you for having us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
I'd like to know, how did you start being a DJ?
That's the most common question I'm mostly asked, but it all starts with my dad. It has a lot to do with my dad. My dad used to DJ himself. He didn't go on an international scale like I did, but he owned a record store on Front Street in Phillipsburg named Al-Hajj Records and Electronics. He sold records. He used to make like a modified version of what we call today mixtapes of different songs throughout the Caribbean, and he got well known for it, and then they started doing it in other countries like Trinidad and Jamaica and St. Lucia and these countries. So he became popular for that. Music has always been something that has been around me all my life, so it was without a doubt that it would pass on to me, which he did. He passed on his equipment, passed on his music to me when I was about 12, 13 years old, and that's where it all started, in my basement with a turntable, a cassette deck, a CD player with batteries, amplifier and a house speaker, and the rest was all history from there.
So how he reacted when you told him, that's why I want to be a DJ?
Not good.
Oh, not good.
No, not good at all. He didn't want me doing this. He wanted me, he at the beginning of it, he struggled. You know, it's a very competitive business. It has its fair share of challenges as it goes along. And my dad wanted me to have something more structured, something more secure. He wanted me to be, if I tell you some of the things my dad wanted me to be, wow. Dad wanted me to be a firefighter. Dad wanted me to be a casino controller. Dad wanted me to be immigration officer. Oh man, my dad wanted me to do some weird things, but at the end of the day, he had plans for me. But I could understand, as being a father today, what he was trying to do. He just wanted me to be more structurally sound. I could provide for my family without having to struggle, which I understand today. But when he saw that this is what I really wanted to do, that I was passionate about it, and I was getting support doing it, eventually my dad started managing me.
You have that story. I'd like you to tell us your beginnings at the Carnival Village.
Oh my God, you know about that?
Yeah.
You know about that, yes.
That's a nice story. It's inspiring.
It was both unfortunate and inspiring, to say the least. 1999, in our old Carnival Village, when it was still dirt and rocks. The show still goes on today, the Youth Extravaganza. And at the time, both Mixmaster Paulie and DJ Blaze was about to face off for like the first time in front of a crowd, which at the time, those two were like the biggest names on the island. And here I am, a 16-year-old, never stepped in front of a crowd in my life yet, decided to jump head in, and it didn't work out in my favor. No, I wasn't well received. I was booed a lot. They threw things at me. I was not well received, but instead of it letting it discourage me, I let it drive me more, that I had to fight for their respect, fight for their approval, and fight for their acceptance into this business. And it took a while, but eventually I did earn everybody's respect.
But you didn't give up?
No, I didn't give up. That's 3 words I always live by, which is never give up. If this is something that you want to do, if this is something that you're passionate about, by the willing of God, you just put your head forward, keep your head up high, and just keep working at it. And if it's for you, it's for you.
It's for you. To you, what are the misconceptions of being a DJ?
Misconceptions, there are quite a few. Some people get into it for the wrong reasons. Some people get into it for, there's a lot of money involved. I get popular. All the girls gonna be around me. A lot of misconceptions around it. What people don't see is the sleepless nights practicing, the money you have to spend to buy equipment, because this equipment is not cheap. A lot of investment, and when you're starting out as a kid, you don't have no structured job or anything. I used to do all kind of weird jobs. That I used to paint houses and mow lawns during the summer vacation.
Side hustles,
just to get my thing going. You know what I mean? It was difficult, and a lot of people don't see that. So everybody thinks it's this limelight, that you're in the spotlight all the time, and you're on TV, you're on the internet. It's a hell of a ride. I've been doing this 25 years.
25 years,
and
wow.
to get where I am today, it was a struggle. So anybody who comes to me and said that they want to be a DJ, I tell them the first thing, that's great, but I hope that you're committed to this. My son today, 6 years old, telling me every day he wants to be a DJ. And I tell him, I said, that's great, Daddy will teach you, but you have to be committed.
What are the pros and cons of working on an island like St. Martin?
One of the biggest pros, definitely, and you learn this as you start traveling, is the fact that we have so many different cultures and heritages here on the island that you learn to be versatile, to be open to different types of music. Because playing on St. Martin, you play for Americans, you play for Canadians, you play for Europeans, you play for people from all over the world. Yeah. So you learn every single bit of music that there is out there. And if you don't know it, you have to learn it, just so that you can adapt and play for your audience here, because St. Martin is so multicultural. The fact that you live here and you grew up on St. Martin, you learn all these different types of music. Me being from the Dutch side, I could go to the French side, I could do a zouk set. I'm not the best at it, but I know my way around zouk music. I can't speak a word of French. All I know is oui, and maybe ça va, but if you understand where I'm coming from, I know my way around it because I had to learn that living here. And that is one of the best pros of living on St. Martin, is that you learn how to play for everybody. Cons now, I would say the biggest con, in my opinion, would be, once you reach a certain level on St. Martin, there's no going up further after that.
So what do you have to do?
You start marketing yourself internationally. You start branching out and trying to get further, trying to excel higher. Because once you reach that high level in St. Martin, there's no way further to go up. After that, the only way to go is down, which you don't want. If you keep here, if you stay here, you base yourself here, you'll be here, if you understand where I'm trying to come from. So my biggest focus right now is to just be on a more international level.
So to stay on the island, what are your best and worst moments?
Well, if we have to talk about worst, I think not what we just spoke about in the village. That would be number one on the list. Best moment here on the island? I think 2004. 2004 when I won my first Heineken Green Synergy competition. That was the pinnacle. That was like when it all started for me. Like, I've been doing it for a while before that, but 2004 was the kickoff of my career.
To you, what is the definition of success, and what would be the key to success?
Definition of success to me, I would say, is setting your goal and your standards high as you could think, and actually getting there. That to me, because a lot of people could say, yeah, I'm going to get here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but to actually get there, working with the resources that we have on St. Martin, to work on an international state of mind, coming from a 37 square mile island, that to me is a key to success. You look at guys not only like myself, you look at DJ Blaze, you look at the Red Eye Crew, you look at people that we have right here who started from nothing. And now on a global scale, that is, what else? That's the definition of success.
Yeah, you go from nada to Prada.
Exactly, absolutely. And I commend those guys for what they do. Because at the end of the day, it's not a competition. It's about all of us coming together and putting that St. Martin flag for the entire world to see, to be waving in the air.
To make it also, I don't know if you agree, but to make it, you also have to conquer your fear and ignore the naysayers.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do you do that?
I was a very shy person growing up because I was bullied a lot. I was picked on a lot. I was always that one kid who didn't have friends. So to overcome that, to actually I was really a shy kid, quiet, kept to myself. So to become this person that you see now that could stand on a stage in front of thousands of people, address them on a mic, and actually get them to have a great time. I'm still trying to figure out how I overcome that. It took a lot of self-reflection. It took a lot of nights me standing in because at the end of the day, before you face everybody, you have to face yourself. You have to be comfortable with yourself that I'm ready to address the world. I'm ready to face the world. So there was a lot of nights I stood in front of a mirror with a brush, pretending it was a mic, just to prep myself, because I have to make sure I look and sound good before I go in front of the world.
People often think that time is an issue to get to their dreams. You have a family,
Yeah.
you're working daytime,
Yeah.
you're working nighttime.
Yeah.
So how do you manage all of that?
I commend my wife for this. She understands what I do. She loves me and for what I do, and we have an understanding. She knows the strenuous lifestyle that I live, and I understand the strenuous lifestyle she lives as well, because she's a nurse. She works late nights as well. So we both have an understanding of what we do. And to balance it like you asked, it can be difficult, it can be challenging at times. But at the end of the day, I love my family. There's nothing I wouldn't do for them. So as tired as I could be, coming home 3, 4, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning. And of course, my oldest son is up first thing. Daddy, what are we doing today? As tired as I am, sometimes as frustrating as it gets, sometimes as draining as it could be, especially if you have to still work that following night, that you want to try get that little rest during the day. At the end of the day, these are the times that you have to cherish when they're small, and build memories for them to grow up with.
There are young, aspiring DJs on the island.
Yeah.
What advice you can give them?
The same 3 words we emphasized earlier. Never give up. Never give up. Because you're going to have those that are going to tell you, you're no good. You don't belong in this. You have no business doing this. I was told that on a daily basis. To hell with what they say. Who cares what they say? If it's what you want to do, if this is what you strive to do, this is what you dream to do, who's stopping you? The only person stopping you is you. The only person stopping you is you. Oh, I don't have enough money to get the equipment. Go out there and work for it.
Work. You said work.
I said work for it. Earn it. Achieve it. I'm not telling you to go on the streets and hustle for it. I'm going to tell you go out there and really work for it. That's what I did. And it didn't kill me, thankfully. But I'm just saying, if this is something you really want to do, nobody's stopping you but you.
And
You
at
can
the
either-
end of the day, you're proud of yourself.
Correct.
Too?
It's either one of two things is going to happen. You're going to become you're going to become your own best friend or your own worst enemy. And the worst thing you want to do is have yourself bringing you down. Sometimes I doubt myself. Sometimes I think I didn't do good tonight. No, I could have done way better than that. I'm my own worst critic. Like, sometimes when I even feel I did good, somebody will even tell me, yo, you could have did better than that. But at the end of the day, you could either become your own best friend or your own worst enemy. And the worst thing you want to do is become your own worst enemy. Make yourself your best friend. Encourage yourself before you look for anybody else's encouragement. Because it's got to be in here. It's got to be here. It's got to be here. And you have to drive yourself to
So
do
you
it.
have to shut down that inner voice.
You have to shut that. Sometimes that inner voice could be against you. It could be for you. But most of the time it's against you. But shut it down. If this is what you really want to do, if it's here, and of course, by God's willing, if this is something you want to do, then go for it. It's going to take a while. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. But work at it. Work at your craft. These kids today have something I wish I had growing up, which is the internet. You can learn so much off of the internet now. I don't have, there's so many tutorial videos on how to do this or how to do that or how to put this together. I didn't have that growing up. There's so many different outlooks and approaches on how to do it now. There's nothing stopping them. The only thing that can stop them is themselves.
In 5 years, where do you see your career?
In 5 years, I, of course, want to be at a higher level I'm at now. I look to work with, I want to be doing more on the production side. I've done a little bit of it before, but I want to up my production level a little bit more. I want to do more like collaborations between island artists and American artists and make collaborations like that, like a DJ Khaled type, something like that. I've always wanted that vision in my head to be like the Khaled of the Caribbean. That's always been my vision. And I still have that vision in mind. So my production, I still want to step up on. I do also want to get into another business. I'm actually in it now, but I want to excel on it now in more 5 years of booking international artists.
There is something people confuse very often. It's being humble.
Yeah.
And having high standards. Sometimes people will say, oh, you're too cocky because you want this, you want that.
No, it's a misconception. It's a misconception. It's a misunderstanding.
So
Some
you don't
people
have
get it.
not like your standards are high and
My goals are high. Let me stop saying standards. My goals are high. That doesn't mean I've changed from that person I was 20, 30 years ago when I was this humble little kid being picked on. I'm still that same person. I'm still very shy. On stage, I'm one person, but in front of people, I'm the quietest person in the room. If I'm around people I know, yeah, I laugh, I joke, but if I'm somewhere that I'm not familiar with, I'm to myself, I'm quiet. But when I reach on stage, that's when OUTKAST comes out. But when everybody else sees me, I'm just Chantry.
thank you so much for having us, the
Thank you so
guest.
much for having me, my
I
dear.
really liked it, and I wish you all the best for your
Thank
new
you
projects.
so much. It's very appreciated. God bless you, my dear.
Thank
you so
you.
much.